This is Shalu Yadav, a senior broadcast journalist who worked at BBC News for 12 years as a producer, bilingual correspondent, news editor, and trainer.
हाँ वो सब तो ठीक है, but I'm also a mountaineer. I can ride a bullet, and I'm one of the most savage producers any newsrooms can ever have.
She's an award-winning journalist who has covered conflicts and all kinds of crises across the globe.
That's right. So from the Pulwama attacks in Kashmir to being a news editor in Washington, D.C., I've done it all.
Today, Shalu is going to break down journalism scenes from films and TV shows available on Amazon Prime.
All right then, bring it on. So first in line, we have a scene from the movie Jalsa.
कुछ और बात करते हैं। ये मतलब आप अगला सवाल कर सकते हैं, मैं जवाब दे दूंगा। इस सवाल का जवाब नहीं दूंगा, मैंने आपको पहले बोला हुआ है।
Being a journalist, it is a very powerful job if you look at it. I mean, you have the right to sort of walk into any room and any person's lives and ask questions of them. And you see Vidya Balan using that power as a journalist, that comes with her role really well. I mean, she just sits there and she waits for Justice Gulati to sort of either answer or just sit there, make a fool of himself on air. She's very clever in this scene. She's using silence as a sort of like a tool to sort of make a point.
I guess it's over. ठीक है फिर. Nice meeting you. खुश रहिए आप.
We're live, sir.
हाँ, लेकिन मैं अपनी इंसल्ट थोड़ी कराने आया हूँ.
Justice Gulati is also using silence, but in a very different way. I mean, he's trying to say that, I have the right to remain silent about something that I'm not comfortable answering, and he is well within his rights to not answer. And in the background, you see the editor is getting a call from Justice Gulati's secretary. What happens in real life is that the editor turns out to be the good cop if the journalist on the set is being a bad cop. So they are the saviors, they're doing all the firefighting, on our behalf when we are being like that. In real life, वो सिर्फ optics के लिए जब कैमरा चल रहा होता है ना, वो सब होता है that, they're supposed to be like in their role journalist and they are all powerful. But जैसे ही camera off होता है, they're not each other's enemy. Like in real life, they're shaking hands with each other, they're meeting at parties, they're having dinners together. I think both parties know अपना job कर रहे हैं, अपने roles कर रहे हैं. It seems to me like it's, मैं तेरी दुश्मन दुश्मन तू मेरा. वो ऐसा नहीं होता है real life में.
The rape country video story.
I know, 2 million hits already.
But we're also getting trolled badly. मैंने अपनी life में इतना hate ऐसे trolls कभी नहीं देखे.
This scene is straight out of a newsroom. I mean, this is exactly what happens to us as journalists. I mean, just for doing our jobs. Especially as female journalists, I think we get trolled really badly. I mean, my male colleagues also get trolled, but the nature of that trolling is not sexualized. Like, हमें rape threats आते हैं, like we get dick pics sent to us in DMs.
Rizvi Roy की बच्ची, साली कुत्ती हरामजादी.
To be fair, I mean, we're all very curious to know how our story is doing on social media. So there's a lot of praise as well, but there's also a lot of hate. And, we're supposed to be very thick-skinned. Like, deal with it, yaar, ye to hota hi hai. Like, you have to be able to take feedback on your story. But, there's a big line between feedback and hate.
That's the internet connection, anonymous handle, anda for DP. और बस चढ़ जाओ किसी पे.
I was trolled for one of my stories from Kashmir. There were a lot of trolls, mostly these faceless, nameless people that you really can't go after. आपको पता ही नहीं है ये लोग हैं कौन, जो आपको इतनी बड़ी-बड़ी बात कह के they just, निकल लेते हैं.
Can we track these people down?
I mean, some are unemployed losers, others are digital agencies in China, Russia, and even right here, hired by political parties to further their own damn agendas.
मैं उस एज से आती हूँ जब मैं 12 साल पहले जब मैंने अपना करियर स्टार्ट किया था तब हमें हाथ से लिखे हुए खत आते थे और इट यूज्ड टू बी वेरी बैलेंस्ड कि आपकी ये रिपोर्ट मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी आपने जैसे ये डिलीवरी करी मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी लेकिन आपने एक पॉइंट यहाँ मिस कर दिया एंड देन केम सोशल मीडिया इट ruined it for us journalists because it's like instant feedback. You put your story out there and you're exposed to millions of people who have the right to say whatever shit they want to say about your story. It's not nice.
Mrs. Maisel. L. Roy Dunham. Nice to finally meet you. You smell good in person. Is that our badge?
I love this scene. I mean, it's like the clash of the titans, and everything about this scene, you know, from the dialogues to the delivery to the tension, it's just marvelous.
You're a woman.
What?
And you've always been a woman.
I have, yes. Be a better story if I hadn't, though, right? So, Mrs. Maisel, what can I do for you?
As a female journalist writing all those kick-ass, brutal pieces about her, she can't sort of like solo that. I think she expected a bit more empathy from her, given that, you know, their struggles are the same. And what I also noticed is that the journalist's name, it's Elroy Dunham. So the L is not sort of spelt out.
I don't understand. You're
Elroy Dunham.
you.
Me.
You're the one who's been writing all those terrible articles.
Actually, I think they're pretty good, but yes.
It's deliberate by her because, you know, in a man's world, if you're trying to get a man to listen to you or to read what you have to say, you know, you kind of like have a pressure to sound like men, if you know what I mean. So I think she's kept that sort of, you know, silent to be able to be accepted by the readers.
It's tough.
Being a woman in journalism.
Trust me, it is. I think you have to work that extra hard to be seen as an equal, if not superior, to your male counterparts.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to do what I'm doing? To go into these clubs run by men, dominated by men, and go up there and try to make men listen to me?
Tell me about it, because I think it's true for women in general. We're trying that extra hard to be heard, you know, to be taken seriously.
I mean, you're a gold mine.
Wow, you seem really proud of yourself.
We are walking, talking big egos, you know, we hate to be wrong.
I'm a gin girl in case you want to send a thank you gift.
It's a great line, isn't it?
क्या करने जा रहे हो? मैं तुम्हारी मदद करना चाहती हूँ। घबराओ मत।
तो इसमें जो जर्नलिस्ट का रोल दिखाया गया है वो ऐसे जर्नलिस्ट का है जो एक तरीके से एक फच्चा है, जिसको अपना यू नो पहला ब्रेक, बिग स्टोरी, बिग एक्सपोजे, यू नो बिग ब्रेक वो चाहिए. एंड यू नो यू कैन सी दैट शी इज वेरी हंग्री फॉर इट. बट उस प्रोसेस में वो भूल रही है दैट यू नो जर्नलिज्म कम्स विद अ लॉट ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑन योर शोल्डर्स एंड दैट वी आर जर्नलिस्ट्स एंड नॉट एक्टिविस्ट. यहाँ पे लाइन्स थोड़ी सी ब्लर हो रही हैं. वो अपना कैमरा ऑन करती है और सीधा अंदर घुस जाती है. तो आई सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइक पॉज देयर एंड आई वाज लाइक यार ये कंसेंट तो इनका लिया ही नहीं है, यू नो. एज अ जर्नलिस्ट व्हाट आई वुड हैव डन इज दैट यू नो पहली बात तो मैं उनका कंसेंट लेती, फिर मैं उनको बोलती कि देखिए भाई बड़ी सीरियस बात है जो आप कैमरे पे बोलने वाले हैं, उसका इम्पैक्ट आपकी लाइफ पे हो सकता है. वुड यू लाइक मी टू ब्लर योर फेस और यू नो मॉर्फ योर वॉइस और समथिंग लाइक दैट सो दैट आपकी आइडेंटिटी सेफ रहे. And then, you know, I would gain their trust enough कि वो मुझसे खुल के बात कर सके.
ये बंद करो ना दीदी. अच्छा, कर रही हूँ.
Instead of using her as a subject of the story, I would use her as a source. क्योंकि आपको इनसे एक टिप ऑफ मिल रहा है एक बड़े रैकेट का from the sound of it.
ये एक बहुत बड़ा स्कैम है मालती. इसको मीडिया के सामने लाना बहुत जरूरी है.
नहीं दीदी, लेकिन ये कैमरा नहीं चाहिए. दीदी वो हमको मार डालेगा.
In the rush to get the story first, you know, in the rush to break the news first, कभी-कभी journalists due diligence भूल जाते हैं, which should not happen. And this is why I think that this scene, this whole setting is very, very problematic. हमारे जो source है वो हमारे लिए sacrosanct होते हैं, you know, उनको हम बहुत protect करके रखते हैं because उनकी वजह से हमें story मिल रही है. It's sort of like our glory because we are breaking it, you know, if it's a big scoop that we get off the hands of some source. We are the ones getting all the sort of name and fame for it because we brought it out. लेकिन उनके लिए जिन्होंने हमें स्टोरी दी, जो हमारे सब्जेक्ट है, जो हमारे सोर्स है, उनके लिए वो उनकी लाइफ है, you know. And so, you know, we as journalists, you know, if something goes wrong because of us in someone else's life, जिसने हमें एक टिप ऑफ दी है, जिसने हमें एक स्टोरी बताई है, you know, it's very hard to live with that.
यही तो प्रॉब्लम है. All we ever think about is money. You know, I don't know what happened to journalism.
किसने कहा आपसे कि आप जर्नलिस्ट हो? मिस माधवी शर्मा, इसे एंटरटेनमेंट कहते हैं, ना कि जर्नलिज्म.
Full disclosure about this scene is that it took me somewhere else. Like, I think it made me look within. जिस journalist ने newsroom में उनको बोला कि किसने कहा आपसे कि आप journalist हैं? I used to be that person. मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि journalism तो वही है जो आप war zone से करते हैं. Humanitarian crisis आपने दिखाया, bomb blasts and political sort of coverage, news coverage and the rest of it. But I was wrong, and I realized it as I evolved as a journalist, and as a human. क्योंकि entertainment news is important part of content. Actually, उसको ज़्यादा लोग देख रहे हैं as compared to, people who are watching my content, which is mostly sad and serious and, So I stand corrected, I think, for life after watching this scene. What's really important to highlight is that entertainment journalism intersect करता है कहीं ना कहीं real life stories के साथ. जैसे कि Me Too जो movement था Hollywood से, and then it came to Bollywood as well. There were so many important stories that needed to come out about, what's happening in the industry, behind the scenes.
सर आपने देखा अंजलि थापर का इंटरव्यू ऐसे काटा कि उसका सारा मीनिंग ही चला गया.
वो लास्ट में एक ऐड आ गया था. मैंने ही फौजे को कहा था कि उसे छोटा कर दे.
She is very disappointed that her story has been cut off and it's been brutally sort of like chopped. But I think I have empathy for both sides क्योंकि आपके editor के पास वो power है to sort of make those cuts at the last minute without even consulting you क्योंकि they have the experience, they know what they are doing. So it happens, it happens to all of us. It's happened to the best of us, trust me.
But sir, I worked so hard on it, sir.
So guys, if you liked this and if you liked what I just broke down for you, all these scenes, please go and watch these movies on Amazon Prime Video. And if you would like us to break down more scenes from other movies, please send us your suggestions in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. But please, trolling mat karna yaar.